So I saw Dracula, finally. Now I was wanting to get this video up on Dracula Day, which was May 26th, but it's currently June 4th. And I just watched this show a couple days ago. I guess one of the things that put me off was the fact that these episodes are as long as movies, but this video is out now, so here we go. So I've been a Dracula fan since I was a kid. I started with the old Universal movies, I've seen some of the Hammer movies, and I've seen the one from 1992. I've never actually read the book, but I'll take a guess and say that this series isn't that faithful to it, especially in the third episode, but we'll get to that later. So how is Dracula? It's pretty good. I enjoyed the first two episodes and thought the third was fine. The first episode is about Jonathan Harker's stay at Dracula Castle. This episode is told from flashbacks from Jonathan about telling his story to Sister Agatha Van Helsing at a convent. But Dracula finds him there, and he faces off with a bunch of nuns with wooden stakes. This scene was pretty hard to take seriously for me, because Dracula disguises himself as a wolf, and then he climbs out of his fursuit completely naked, and he can't enter the convent because he can't enter somewhere unless he's not invited in, and they just talk to each other. And there's parts where Agatha's just really close to Dracula, but for some reason she never takes the opportunity to just drive the stake through his heart. And not long after that, Dracula climbs the walls of the convent like Spider-Man, and he goes to Jonathan's room and he's somehow fully clothed and doesn't look like he just climbed out of a wolf. And then he kills a bunch of nuns inside the convent, and he goes to this room with Agatha and Mina, but he's disguised as Jonathan, and the episode ends. Overall, I like this episode. The second episode is about Dracula headed to England on the Demeter. I think this was my favorite of the episodes. It's kind of like a murder mystery. Well, I mean, it's not because we know who it is. And as it turns out, Dracula set everything here up and plans to frame Agatha for everything. But this doesn't go according to plan, and he ends up under the water, only to get out and see that everything is modern now. The last episode I thought was just okay. It's right after the end of the second episode, and Dracula finds out he's in the year 2020, even though he looks the same as he did back in 1897. But when we first meet him that year, he looks all old, so that's kind of weird. Dracula's kept in a laboratory for studying by Agatha's descendant Zoe, but Dracula hires a lawyer who's this series' version of Renfield, who says that Dracula hasn't done anything illegal, so Dracula leaves the laboratory. But of course he starts looking for victims again, and he chooses a girl named Lucy Westenra, and turns her into a vampire. And at the end of this episode, Zoe tells Dracula that he's immune to most of the things the legends say he is like sunlight, which technically is true, as the whole vampires killed by sunlight thing wasn't introduced until Nosferatu, just 25 years after Stoker's novel. Dracula then steps into the sunlight unaffected, but we literally see him affected by the sun earlier in the show, so what's up with that? Yeah, this episode was just okay. Dracula using modern technology to find his victims is a pretty cool idea, but I do think Dracula stalking 1890s London with Agatha searching for him would have been better. I'm not going to talk about most of the cast. I just want to say that Claes Bang, I hope I'm pronouncing that right, is a pretty good Dracula. I mean, I don't think he's quite good as, say, Christopher Lee, Bela Lugosi, or Max Schreck, but he was pretty good. So yeah, overall, Dracula's pretty good. I like the first two episodes, but kind of dips in quality in the third, and I'm giving Dracula a 7 out of 10. So thanks for watching. If you've seen Dracula, tell me what you thought, and my next TV review will probably be one of these. Don't know yet.
Nosferatu!